Is a senior researcher at the China-based public policy think tank, the Pangoal Institute. He's also a political analyst at China Radio International, and he's joining us now live from Beijing. First, I want to get your reaction to the arrest of the former Canadian diplomat and also your thoughts on the Meng case. She's no longer behind bars after this lengthy bail hearing.
Well, there are a lot of guesswork and speculation whether the arrest for the former Canadian diplomat is associated with the detention of Madame Meng in Canada. It's likely, obviously, China has made it very clear. China will do whatever it takes to make sure its citizens' rights is being protected either in China or overseas. And if you look at the case of Madame Meng, it's increasingly clear that it is not a matter of a rule of law. It is a matter of competition between China and the United States. President Trump has made it very clear that he's ready to intervene if it serves the U.S. interests, if it has helped the U.S. to gain advantage in its talks with China on trade issues. Obviously, Canada is either naive or pretending they are unaware of this big picture. Huawei and Madame Meng is at the center of the storm between China and the United States. I think Canadian people, they are not happy to see one of them is being detained in China. I think they have their own government to for explanation and to blame.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about, you alluded to it, he mentioned this in a Reuters interview that he could intervene in this case. He suggested he might stop the extradition if he thought it could impact the trade talks with Beijing. So how is the comment being viewed in China? Because a lot of people say, well, this is a legal issue, but as you point out, I imagine over there in China, it's being perceived as more as a political issue.
Exactly. Before the talk, of course, there are people who say, hey, let's respect the law. It's independence of the judiciary. It's the rule of law in Canada. And also the Canadian Prime Minister, Mr. Trudeau, also said, he distanced himself from any intervention, saying that this is a legal matter. But President Trump has made it very clear, this is a political event. This is like a political prosecution. Somehow, if you can't beat Huawei, you arrest, you detain the daughter of the founder. This is breaking the line. This is crossing the line, I would say. For competition, that's fine. Strategic competition between China and the United States is understandable. But still, there are rules we should follow. And now there's no bottom line. By basically kidnapping Madame Meng and making her a bargaining chip in the U.S. negotiation with China to take advantage of the situation. I think Canada, they probably should do something. They probably should make a representation to the United States, to Washington. They are acting in the belief that there's rule of law or independence of judiciary. But obviously, this is an issue much larger than law.
Well, the foreign minister did say that the U.S. government shouldn't politicize this event. But the question is now, what does this do in terms of relations between Canada and China? Because they're kind of caught right here in the middle, aren't they?
Yes, I think it's Canada. They should take an initiative how to unsettle or unravel this issue, this matter. The best way for them to do is really to send back Madame Meng to China. She's innocent. She never violated the law, either in Canada or China or any other country. And she should be freed immediately. And this is the issue between China and the United States. Canada should stay free from this fight. I think that would be the wisest decision for them to make. Otherwise, you would see the tension between Canada and China will continue for some time. Obviously, Beijing has made it clear that they will do what it takes to protect the interests of its citizens. And as a result, obviously, there's a price for Canada to pay for either for their naiveness or for their wrong belief in the extradition request from Washington. Obviously, this is not extradition. This is not about law. This is about the strategic competition between the two countries. Canada, the best way for them is to stay out of this.
Well, we're going to see how this shakes out. Qinduo Xu providing analysis from Beijing. Thanks so much.